Hey guys, it's Nicole, and today I am going to be talking to you guys about budgeting. How I budget as the only one who works. So I'm the only one that works, I pay all the bills, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I do that. Let me get rid of my gum. It's distracting, I can already feel the desire to chew my gum. Not happening today. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I wasn't always the only one that was the only one paying the bills. My boyfriend, he also worked at the same place that I work, but in a different department. I'm not going to give you exact numbers for how much we made, and the only reason behind that is because I don't want one of my coworkers to stumble upon this video and, you know, see me talking about my wage. I just don't want to open that can of worms with any of my coworkers that may or may not watch my video. I'm just going to give you guys estimates of how much we made, but I will give you exact amounts of how much we pay, like our expenses and stuff. Okay, so for our previous income when Sean was working, then I made around $11 an hour and Sean made around $10 an hour. The monthly total for that was, I'm a dummy who doesn't have a calculator. That was our monthly income. Our expenses are our rent, which is $9.50 a month. Our power, which back then was ranging around from $200 to $250. It was really high back then because it was winter time. This was around November. Groceries, which were ranging around monthly around $100 to $200 a month, and then our trash bill was $32.50, and we didn't have internet back then, so that wasn't included in our expenses back then. That was all of our expenses back then, so the total monthly expenses were this compared to this, which was our monthly income. And I'm not giving you numbers right now because I don't know them, but I'm gonna do the math during the editing process, so. Sean lost his job in November, so after that happened, obviously I was really stressed out. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to pay for everything by myself, so I was like highly stressed out. Everybody in the store got raises because they boosted up the minimum wage, and my job wants to be like the store to work at, so they boosted everybody's wages, including mine. And I got a pretty hefty raise, so I got about a $2 raise. We had all the same expenses, except for now I did get internet, so now our internet bill is around $50 an hour, or $50 an hour. It's around $50 a month. My phone bill is around $45 to $50 a month, so we'll add that on there as well. Now my income had raised to around $1,600 to $2,000 a month. Really better? My dog just opened the door and barged in here. Now I'm gonna go into more detail with how I budget and how I go about paying my bills. Like I said, my rent is $9.50 a month. So before all of this, Sean and I would each pull out $120 a week for our paychecks, and so that was $240 total for rent each week. That would leave us with $960 at the end of each month. We wouldn't need to pull out $240 at the end of the month. We would only need to pull out $230. But since you can only pull out 20s in a bank, then we would just pull out $240 and then just get change, you know. And so we'd always have $10 extra. Without Sean working, then I just pull out $240 every week for rent. I get 4 paydays, but sometimes if the month is like, it works out to where like there's like 5 paydays in a month. So if I have a month where I'm gonna have 5 paydays in that month, then I'll utilize that extra payday to pull out money to pay my power bill instead of pulling out $240 that week. Sometimes I have to do that depending on how expensive the power bill is. Now that it's getting warmer outside, it's starting to go down, so it was like $180 and then now it's like $160, and I'm sure by the end of the week or by the end of the month it'll go down even more. So when it comes to groceries, we've really just been really careful with what we need and what we want. We really try and think out our meals, because at first it was really hard. It seemed like we couldn't keep food in the house, and so we really started to think of our meals. So we plan out our meals and then get the ingredients to that week's meal plan, I guess, and we get whatever we can at the dollar store. So that's kind of what we've been doing ever since we moved into our own place. Even back at the old house, was anything that we can get, we get at the dollar store. Something I learned is don't get cheese from the dollar store because that shit don't melt. So, and this isn't like to the T how it goes, but I kind of like wrote down an outline for like each week what bills I pay and what I pay, but like, so this is what I wrote. The first week paycheck usually goes to $240 for rent, whatever I need to pay for the power bill, or if it's a big bill and I can't pay all of it, then I'll pay the majority of it, and then the next week I'll pull out rent again and then pay the rest of the power bill. And then that first week I also pay for, I also buy groceries. The second week, if I need to continue, or if I need to pay the rest of the power bill, then I'll pay the power bill. Our power bill is always due on the same day of the month, so that's kind of nice. And it always seems like all of our other bills are also due on the same day as the power bill, so I kind of have until the 15th of every month to pay all of my bills. I kind of like divide it so that it's not like sucking me dry each paycheck. Then I'll also pay the trash. Now, because my internet is new, so this is only the second month of paying internet, and last month I had to pay the installation fee plus the first months of internet, so that was like $100 and something. But this month it'll be less, it'll be like $50. Third week of the month I pull out $240 for rent again. I buy more groceries if needed. And also sometimes if I'm like in a bind or whatever, if like I'm running low on money, then I won't pull out the full $240, I'll pull out maybe $200, and then the next week if I'm expecting a bigger paycheck, I'll pull out like $280. And then the fourth week of the month I pull out $230 for rent. And then also kind of going into the more recent time, I'm sure a lot of you guys have questions, or maybe not, I don't know, but I'm gonna answer them either way. If you've been keeping up with my channel, you know that we just had to take my bunny to the vet multiple times, and he ended up having a surgery to have his eye removed and a surgery for being neutered. And so that can be pretty expensive, and I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, how in the hell did you afford that when you're the only one working? Well, taxes. That's how I was able to pay Wiggler's vet bill. I also have a backup cushion, and that is my small YouTube checks that I get. I am not over here like balling in YouTube money. I only get small YouTube checks, and sometimes I don't even get a YouTube check, you know, every month. So I just utilize those checks as backup savings, and they stay in my PayPal account, and you know, anytime I get a YouTube check, it goes into my PayPal account and it stays there. Yeah. But yeah, that is my budgeting video. I'm about to run out of memory on my camera, so that is my cue to bid you farewell. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it to the end of this video. And if you did, make sure to leave this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. We really appreciate your guys' love and support. It means the world to us, so thank you so much. And we will see you guys next time. Bye!